I'd like to start out by talking a little bit about the pin bar styles and some of the details about pin bars. And first of all, the styles throughout history have been many types. This particular is a club style collar. This is your standard spread. The standard spread could be a shorter length. It might only be EA. But what would happen in this case here, it would probably be worn with a very skinny tie, and also the holes would probably be moved, and also the pin bar would probably be smaller. It would probably be 1.5 inches as they used to use in the old days. So there's a couple of factors to remember when you're trying to design your pin bar collars. This example here, we have a long pin bar which is slightly loosed, and you notice that it's not pushing the collar down. Now, what we mean by push is whenever the pin bar is smaller than the collar separation, because it's smaller, it tends to push the collar in, such as in this example here. So this is something to take into consideration. And again, the length of the pin bar will determine how much push you have on the collar. So take that into consideration when you're trying to determine. Now, the question that's always asked is, how do I know where to put the holes? What I would recommend for you beginners is grab yourself a shirt out of your closet and make yourself up a tie and put the tie underneath the collar like you see in this example here, and grab your pin bar and experiment a little bit with it. Remember, the pin bar is going to end up underneath the tie, and depending upon where you experiment, where you put your holes, and the length of the pin bar is going to depend upon how much it cinches up or pushes, and also the thickness of the tie. A very skinny tie or a very thick tie will determine what the actual style will look like. So those are things to really look out for. Designing your ties. In this particular example here, this British spread is not a good candidate for a pin bar. It's just too wide. And not only that, if you put your tie in there, you'd see the pin bar. So it's not a good candidate.